Yo, what up, everybody? It's Chris. I'm at Gamma Studio, and I want to take y'all through the studio. That's our neighbor dog right there. Yeah. To let y'all know it's real. Like, I recently posted how these people on the internet always broadcasting from some generic studio space saying it's their house. I don't know. And I'm not saying that there aren't people real on the internet, but I think it's a lot of fake on the internet. I think it's a lot of people, like, when I see their setups, it looks like no one lives there. It looks like it's just like a back room in some warehouse and they're broadcasting from it. So I want to walk you through the studio and let you see what we have here. If you want to come jam out, work with us, I'll show you my personal setup and then I'll show you the other equipment that we have in here. I rap primarily like as a vocalist, and then production wise I do stuff on Modular Synth, use my phone. I have a program that emulates Moog. But in practice, like with analog gear, I like the SP. I bought a broken SP from the homie Nate. Gave me a great deal on it because a bunch of the pads didn't work, but it worked well enough for me to be able to trigger the samples I need to use and be able to like map out ideas and concepts for tracks. And so got the SP404 right here that doesn't work so well, but works to my needs. That's for the production side. Then for vocals, I sometimes like the TC Helicon, so the vocal effects on it. And I'm still learning how to use this because I don't sing. If you sing, this thing is banana cakes. Like, you can do so much augmentation and modulation of your voice in the sense of you can make yourself sound like you're speaking through a megaphone. You can make it sound like you're on a telephone, like you have harmonies with other vocalists. You can pitch shift. It's not auto-tune, but you can do some things that are really cool. As an MC, the Helicon gets weird because if you record with it, your voice is stuck with the effects, and so it's sometimes better to record clean and then do your effect work. I mean, it's just your style, but for live performance, the Helicon gets lit. Then I like to sometimes run the Helicon through this looper pedal, and I have two looper pedals. One is a single channel, and this one where you need like XLR cables into it, and then I have this smaller one which lets you go in through 1/4-inch cables. So you can run your mic or run the Helicon through the looper, and then that's fun. All right, so then we go to, I got the tape deck set up that I can sample from. I tend not to use this at all just because I don't need to sample from tapes, but if I wanted to, I do have some old tapes of myself or of people I know that aren't digitized that I'd be able to sample. Then this is a synthesizer. You're probably used to synthesizers that have keys on them or have some type of trigger. This is a analog synthesizer, and it lets you control the CV and the modulation, and there's an oscillator on it. And I can't do a whole lot with it. I use it as a noise generator. It kind of creates background fuzz for me. But when Tony came up here, somehow Tony got like beats out of this. Not like beats, but to where you can get like a you can get like kind of simple soundscapes out of this. But this is a fun little gadget. Then all right, now we move into the real fun stuff. All right, so this is the workstation. At the workstation, oh, can I turn the camera around so this works easier? Here we go. All right, got the Chord SQ1, which is a sequencer. It then can sequence and manage the sounds that I have in my modular setup. Then I got the Korg drum machine and two monologues. I'll kind of go through and explain where sounds come from and how this works. All right, so independently, you can just use any of these, but I have them all connected so that with my modular, here are two noise generators. Like, you have the Bermuda Synth. I got these from Josh. Then my envelope here. This is another LFO and effect station chips. This is your delay. This is the filter. Then this is a drum kind of like sound creator, and this triggers the drums and controls. Oh, let me put it over here. This triggers the drum and controls the pattern of the drum. This has the different drum sounds in it, little pico joints. It's kind of tight. Then this is another modulation piece. Then my mixer, right? So I can make sounds, I can modulate the sounds, I can control the envelope of the sounds, I can filter the sounds, I can delay the sounds, and this is ears. I'm trying to figure out how to run a mic into ears, so then I'll be able to run my voice through some of the effect patches that I'm able to set up. So then the modular, normally for my setup, I don't have a clock or a sequencer on my modular, so it's usually ambient. In order to get more standard, like rhythmic 4/4 and stuff like that, I can use a sequencer, and the sequencer will control the time and run the clock into here, and so that everything will be on the same timing. What I can then do, take my drum machine, where this makes drum sounds, just kicks and snares, and it runs patterns and everything else. Synth, same thing, can make, it's a mono synth, so you can't do any chords. It's just singular note, and it runs in sequence, so you can, make your sequence of a pattern. You can save it, but now with two, I can have a high pitch, low pitch, or I can have a melody and counter melody. And all of these pieces sync to the same tempo. So that if I start the time sync here, if I start with my drum machine, then sync to this monologue, then sync to this monologue, then sync to the SQ1, then sync to the modular. Now I got drums that are on the same tempo and time as my modular. So I got the beepity beep, which would normally be ambient, now with drums that's knocking, not just like the drum sound I can make, but drums on a separate track. And then also the melodies. I've never been able to make beats analog where I have melodies, drums, and ambient all working together. And so I'm excited to see what you're going to get. And I record the instrumentals in multi-track so that, I don't know, let me see here if I have it. You might be able to tell. So that the one monologue, another monologue, the synth, and then the drum machine. So that later I can edit and I can throw effects on the drums, or I can do more processing, because some of the synth sound is really raw. Like it's straight off the modular, so it might be gritty. I might need to throw a filter on it later, or throw some effects on it in Logic. My speakers, I got these from the homie. I don't remember the name of them. Oh, I'll turn this around so you can see it. But yeah, they work. They're good. They're good. And so these speakers really do a lot of the high. So then I'll run my stuff into these speakers and this mixer and play that loud, and then I get the low ends. Now, some pieces I don't currently have connected but that are cool is another noise generator. It just is like ambient noise, and you can change it to make it sound like waves, or you can make it sound like air or wind. Over here we have, I got put onto this by the homie Lobo, and so it makes the sound of a tempura, like Southeast Asian music, a drone. And so I can mix that with this stuff. Ooh, I haven't tried to connect it since I got the new, I'm gonna find out. Then this is a Turo. This is a synth, like an old analog synth and noise generator. This is a mixer and equalizer. And so I don't tend to use this, but it's dope because of the level of precision you can get with the EQ. Yo, come in. Then this is the delay rack. I don't tend to use this anymore, just because my other system doesn't require it. And this is another delay. So, I may need to sell some stuff in a second. So that's basically the setup. Oh, here's my interface. I should say that's the interface right there. And then that's the preamp I use for the mic. We got a vintage preamp. I got that from Grant. I traded him some monitor speakers for the preamp. Good look. And that's my old Pro Tools setup, which I never use anymore, which is connected to my old computer, which is under here. And that monitor, but when I have to go to the old files and I got to go to the archives, I still have that ability. So that's the main setup for my recording situation. Oh, and then the mic. I finally got a new mic for years. Like, I think since 2003, or I don't know how old, like 4, I've been recording on this mic. And it was a good mic at the time when I was 25 or 26. So now, almost 15 years later, I finally stepped it up, got a new joint here. Woo! And so we getting crispy. That's the main setup. I got a bunch of gear I don't use, like this. I'll be selling down here, what have you. And in studio, we got percussion for people to use, come through, come kick it. We do have weighted keyboard to rock out with. We have 2 house acoustic guitars and a house electric. And I don't know, there are other things around here. It's just, come to the studio. Like when other people on the internet and it looks like a warehouse that they can't possibly actually live in, know that this is real life. Like, this isn't the internet. And so come see us in real life. Come hang out in the studio. Let's make music like people did 40 years ago. I know we can email each other everything. I know we can hang out for 3 hours and make 4 songs because of the technology. But what happens if we actually spend a day jamming? And then spend another day making songs out of what our jams were. Then spend another day, you see what I'm saying here? All right. Come to the studio. Let's hang out. Like, the homie just came over to draw. Can you imagine that? Oh, I'm going to go somewhere to sit down and make art with another person. Yeah. See? It happens. I'll holler.